want to read to you what is actually happening. It begins by saying this at the beginning of Joshua 6 chapter verses 1. Now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut, because there's something else that a wall represents. And I want you to hear me in the spirit. It is every obstacle that is hindering you from victory. That is what a wall is. So a wall, or from your breakthrough. So a wall could be a false sense of security, or it can be an obstacle. In other words, God is giving you a promise. You know that, but you can't get to where you want to get to because you just feel there's a blockage. And when we were praying, I felt that God will be removing blockages that the enemy put. So we come to Jericho and it says this. Now the gates of Jericho were tightly shut because the people were afraid of the Israelites. So you know that the people of Jericho, and you know who was in Jericho, right? Rahab the prostitute. And she knew when she saw Joshua, she said to him, we know that God gave you the city.
That's right.
So she knew, and she wasn't the only one who knew. Everyone else knew. When they know that God is meant to give them Jericho, rather than surrendering to God and surrendering the city, they did the opposite. They built a wall, and the wall is to be an obstacle so God's people cannot enter. And then it says no one was allowed to go in or out. That is what an obstacle is. An obstacle is when God's giving you a promise and you just feel, Yvon, you don't understand. I'm stagnant. I'm not moving anywhere. There's a blockage. There's something that is just not going anywhere for me. And then I want you to hear the next verse. But the Lord said to Joshua, I have given you Jericho, its kings, and all its warriors. So there's two things happening here. And a lot of the time you think, Yvon, how do I do warfare? If God is giving me something, why do I have to fight for it? And the easy answer is that God wants to partner with you in the victory. In actual fact, God does not do anything on his own. He can, but God wants us to partner.